Hey, this is really, really compelling video from CNN. CNN's Don Lemon abruptly ended his entire show seemingly 5 minutes early on CNN Tonight when one of the panelists, Dennard, who is one of those elusive black Trump supporters, continued to say that the story that he was participating in on Don Lemon's show qualified as fake news. And the conversation was about the costs of Trump and Melania's travel and the associated costs of Melania being in New York City and Trump going to Mar-a-Lago seemingly every weekend. And Dennard said, this is fake news. Don Lemon didn't like it, and he decided to shut the whole thing down. Check it out.
I want to bring in Paris now. Sorry, I hate to cut you guys short, but I want to get it all in before we have to go. Paris, what do you think?
I think this is fake news. This is not a news story. Don,
tell me what about it is fake, Paris. We're going to go. Are we going down this road again?
Yeah, we are.
Come on, Paris.
I didn't interrupt any of you all. Let me just tell you why. The president is not breaking any laws, and he's not doing anything. It's not his
okay,
fault.
Paris, hold on. Let me ask you this.
No.
Let me ask you. I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish. Do you actually know what the definition of fake news is?
What we're doing right now?
No, okay, well then you are part of the fake news because you are on the network and you're part of the...
No.
Fake news is when you... Hang on, let me explain to people out there watching and you what fake news is. Fake news is when you put out a story to intentionally deceive someone and you know that it is wrong. I don't know of anyone who has put out a story in the mainstream media that I can think of right now to intentionally deceive anyone. Now, people get things wrong, sources sometimes empty, but no one that I know has put out anything to intentionally deceive someone. This story that we're doing right now is not to intentionally deceive anyone. We are simply talking about the cost to keep a president safe, the Secret Service cost, and what are the pros and the cons, and as Andre said, and if there are ways that we can maybe able to work on that to make it fiscally better for the American people. There is nothing fake about that. Please stop it with that stupid talking point that it is a fake news story. If you don't want to participate in the news stories on this network, then don't come on and participate. But don't call them fake because you don't agree with them. Go on.
Don, this is a fake news story, in my opinion, because the underlying
Paris,
assumption
thank you very much, everyone.
That...
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Good night, all.
Thanks, Don.
Don Lemon seeming genuinely upset there. This is actually an important story, okay? Trump spent as much in 1 month on travel as President Obama spent on average in an entire year during his presidency. And Trump did it after slamming Obama for vacationing, slamming Obama for playing golf, which, by the way, Trump has done on 6 of the first 31 days in the White House, and it's costing huge taxpayer money. So Don Lemon is right to say this is not fake news, but more broadly, the fake news thing must be fought against. I don't always agree with Don Lemon, but when I do, I agree strongly. Trump supporters say anything they disagree with or think is a negative narrative for Trump is fake news, period. Trump himself does this. He's been convincing his supporters that anything negative about him is fake news. And calling legitimate news organizations fake news is actually fake news. Actually, I prefer to call it propaganda news.
I mean, I could see if CNN was reporting something that could come across as conspiratorial,
right,
or there were anonymous sources, that he would tactically want to call it fake news to kind of write it off, because that seems to be a good strategy for him. That's what gives him pats on the back from the Trump administration.
Of course.
But I mean, this is just the plain fact. The fact that he's spending $11 million on travel expenses in just his first month and continues to vacation when he campaigned against doing that.
Absolutely. And anchors should shut people down the second they hear those people lying on the air. There comes a point where there's really nothing to be gained by allowing a particular guest to sit there and spew nonsense. It doesn't help the show. It doesn't help the audience. And yes, of course, there's political theater at CNN. It exists at many major news entities. Jon Stewart did a great job pointing that out in the now infamous Crossfire segment from years and years ago. Healthy skepticism of news assertions is good, but this must be stopped, and Don Lemon absolutely did the right thing here. Although Don Lemon has run with stories that I would find fact-check worthy, and he has been wrong, but to say that it's fake news is implying something drastically different altogether.
Gamefly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees. and our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.